Hey guys, so I did promise you guys a video today. So I'll be in the kitchen, but I won't be baking and I won't be cooking. I'll be making ice cream today. So I'm gonna go on the road, get my ingredients, and when I come back, you guys will see how I make ice cream. I'm gonna do 2 batches. I'll do vanilla and my favorite, which is cookies and cream. So stick around and let's have some fun in the kitchen today. Okay guys, so I am back from the supermarket. It took me a little while because I wanted to make sure I had heavy cream and not normal whipping cream. I had to go to maybe about 5 or so stores, supermarket to get it. So these are my ingredients: a box of evaporated milk, a tin of condensed milk. I use both Chips Ahoy and Oreo for my cookies and cream ice cream. I have a bottle of almond essence, my vanilla, a nutmeg here, and as you can see, my Surge Island heavy whipping cream. So the first thing that we're going to do, we're going to take this and add it to my mixing bowl, which is over here. Alright, here we go. So this is my heavy whipping cream. I'm gonna go ahead and whip this for maybe about 15 to 20 minutes. The thing is with heavy whip, if you whip it too much, you may end up getting butter, so it gets really hard after a while. So you don't want it to be too thick, you don't want it to be too watery. So let's go ahead now. So when you're making ice cream, if you're not using an ice cream maker, it is best to whip your heavy cream on low speed. So you're gonna use 1 or 2 to whip this. You're gonna do it slowly because, as I said before, if you whip this too much, you're gonna end up with butter. If it gets too thick, it's gonna spoil everything. You're gonna either have to throw it out or you're just gonna have to make butter, and I don't plan on making butter today. All right, so let's go ahead again and continue. Alright, so it is starting to get a little bit thicker. As you go along and it begins to get thick, what is recommended is that you add your other ingredients. So my condensed milk, I'm gonna add my condensed milk and my evaporated milk because I want everything to be incorporated properly together. So I'm gonna whip this for maybe another 2 minutes and then I will add my condensed milk. As I have said before, this thing, it's easy for this to go south, so you want to make sure that you're at the right texture. Like this now, it needs about another minute or 2, but it's coming on nicely. Alright, so here we are. You can see that at each stage it actually gets thicker. So right now I'm going to add my condensed milk. Alright, so the condensed milk actually adds the sweetening. It's the sweetening agent for the ice cream. So I'm gonna add this, mix it around a little bit, and then I'm gonna add about half box of my evaporated milk. Alright, so my condensed milk have been added. So I'm going to go ahead and add my evaporated milk. As I had stated previously, we don't need to mix this, to whip this anymore. So we have to be very careful when we are mixing this together because, as I said, it can actually turn to butter. And I really don't want to go through all this trouble, go to 5 supermarkets just to get heavy whip, and then I end up getting butter. No, I have butter already. Alright, so let's go ahead and give this about a minute. So now that my 3 main ingredients have been added, I'm going to go ahead and add my spices. As I said, I'm gonna do a plain vanilla batch and I'm gonna do a cookies and cream, which will be loaded with my Oreo and my Chips Ahoy. But first I must add my spices. Alright, so I have added half teaspoon of nutmeg. I have added 2 tablespoons of vanilla and 1 teaspoon of almond essence. We have to be careful with the almond essence because it can actually make your food bitter if you add too much. At this point, we really don't need to whip it anymore, but hey, I'm lazy. You can always mix this in with a spoon, but as I said, I'm lazy. There we have it, guys. This is what it looks like before it's frozen, so you can take a look at the consistency. It could be a little bit thicker if you so desire, but again, there is a danger with making it too thick. You can actually spoil it, and I don't want to spoil it. So now I'm going to break up my Chips Ahoy. You can actually just break it up in the bag like this, or if you have a rolling pin, you can go ahead and use that. So I'm gonna break up my Oreo and my Chips Ahoy right here, and I'm gonna share this out into one of my plastic containers and put it in the fridge. And pour this in. Oh my god, that looks lovely. That looks heavenly. Alright, so you don't want to fill your container up too much because we're gonna add the cookies to it, and then we'll just mix it around. You can put a cling wrap over it and put it in the fridge. I already have a cover for this, so I'm gonna just add my cookies, mix it around, and then put this in the fridge. These are actually Oreo minis, so we don't need to crush them out too much. We'll just mix everything around. It will look a little bit messy because this is just the initial stage, but as soon as it is frozen and we share this, it's gonna be awesome. Yes, I wish I could sing. And it is actually the holidays. It's just a few days before Christmas, so this is just in time for Christmas Day. If you're having family over on Christmas Day, you could actually make this from the night before, put it in the fridge, and it will be ready for a lovely tasty dessert. Alright, so let's clean up the side of this and have this in the fridge. Alright, so this is sealed and it is ready for the fridge. What we would normally do is put this in the fridge for about, it all depends on your fridge or your freezer. So we put this in the freezer for about 4 to 8 hours, or you can just put it in the freezer overnight. It's a little bit after 2 now, so I'm gonna check on it again around 6-7 o'clock to see where it is, where freezing is concerned. And here we have my plain vanilla batch of ice cream. My god. So for those of you who like your thing a little bit sweeter, you could actually add another tin of condensed milk or a half tin. I used 1 tin of condensed milk to 1 large box of heavy cream because I don't want a lot of sugar in my ice cream. Some people, they may add granulated sugar also. No, I'm not gonna do that because between the condensed milk and the Chips Ahoy and the Oreo, that batch is gonna be sweet. Alright guys, so we're gonna put this one in the freezer also, and we'll check back on this in about 4 to 5 hours. Okay guys, so it's almost 7 o'clock. It's that time when we go and check on our ice cream. So let's go and see if it's... Oh my god, I am so anxious to see this. It has actually... I'm gonna have to wash that. It's actually been a year since I have done an ice cream recipe. Alright, so it's not quite ready. One section is set, this part is set, you can see that. So I may just have to leave this here for another, I'm gonna leave it in the fridge for another 2 hours So at about 9 o'clock we'll come back and we'll check on this. Okay guys, so it is actually the morning after. When I had checked back on this last night, it actually was not set as yet, so I decided to leave it until in the morning. Ooh, it's basically done, so I could actually say that this is good work. I would share some out for you guys and do some pretty thing, but unfortunately it's in the morning and it's a bit too early for ice cream, well, for me at least. But I have to say that this batch turned out pretty well. Still think that in the middle could be a little firmer, so I'm gonna leave it in the fridge. But I thank you guys for tuning in once again. Thank you for listening to me talk and talk. And I thank you guys for continuing to watch my videos, liking them, sharing them, and asking for new subscribers. So as is customary, I normally leave a Bible verse with you. And since we're in the spirit of Christmas, I'm gonna leave Isaiah 9 verse 6 with you, and it says, "For unto us a child is born, unto us a son is given, and the government shall be upon his shoulder, and his name shall be called Wonderful Counselor, the Mighty God, the Everlasting Father, the Prince of Peace." Thank you guys. Have a Merry Christmas. Have a good holiday. I will be doing another video before the year is out. Should be a question and answer segment, so you guys can get to know me a little bit more. I'll see you on the next one, and shalom.